Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realnesss with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis here. We're back with episode 2 of the Traitors USA Season 3. Melissa is joining us. We finally watched episode 2. How are you feeling? Melissa.
I just love this show. Honest to God. I'm same answer. Like, take that, put it on a loop, and that'll be my answer for the rest of the season. Because how else are you gonna feel? Like, I'm pissed off. We'll get to it. We'll get there. But I'm excited for the next episode. Like, there's so many people. I'm upset with who went home. But there's so many people in this cast that I'm probably going to be feeling like that a lot. So instead of being upset about who went home, I'm going to just look forward to the messiness that it's going to create.
So I think, I totally agree with you. But I feel like because it's all celebrity seasons, like I don't enjoy that I don't want anybody to go home. Like, that kind of bothers me because,
I want people to go home. I do.
Pardon?
I want people to go home. This is not the right thing.
Yeah, for sure. But I know everybody here, and I want to see them play. I just want to see a little bit more of them. And so I feel like because we know them, like, everybody for me is just like, oh, I don't want them to go yet necessarily. You know what I mean? Just for I just want to see them. I just want to enjoy them for a little bit longer. And so that's, I guess, the difference between a celebrity season and all like newcomers, like a civilian season, because I don't really know you, never did, so they can go home first. I don't mind. But now I'm like, oh, I don't want anybody to go home first because I want to see them play. I know who they are a little bit. So that's kind of where I'm toying.
It's kind of funny, like, with that, and like it's the same with the reality versus civilian seasons. It's why, like, the civilians tend to not come out of it with as such big like personalities and followings because everybody's already rooting for so many people that are on the show. You know what I'm saying?
Kathy wants to know if I'm able to pin your reminder at the top of your chat. Let's see if I can do that. Yes, thank you. I don't know if I can pin it. Let's see what I can do. I can star it, I can delete it, I can put you in a timeout, or I can ban you, but I don't think I can pin anything.
Oh,
thank you though, Kathy.
Here though.
Thanks, Kathy. But this is what I think Kathy wants to pin is no spoilers, please. We've only watched episode 2. It was a pretty complete episode, so
I enjoyed it.
I'm fine with that.
How did you feel about the returnees now that we officially know and we can talk about it?
Well, I was very happy that we found out right like the second that the episode started, so I didn't feel spoiled with suspense. I did want to speculate a little bit about it with you, but we didn't have that much time anyways. So
exactly. You know what? They did us a favor. They really did.
Well, I was surprised in general that nobody from the challenge was asked to be on the season, considering the challenge players won season 2. Yeah. So I was like, wow, they didn't put anybody on the challenge on this season. That they must be like, oh, we don't want them to win again.
We're over that. Yeah.
I had heard a while ago that Derek was being considered, and then I completely forgot.
I did too. I thought it had been debunked. Like, I thought it was like, oh, we think he's going to be on it, but now, no, we figured out like he's definitely not. So it was surprising, but also not shocking. It was like, you got me,
Exactly. And then, so yeah, with Derek though too, like he was saying on his channel with Cody that he would love to be a traitor. He wanted to be on it and all this stuff, but I really forgot about it. And so it was kind of a nice surprise to see that he was a part of it. It's making the game within a game within a game even more convoluted, right? Because now we have these 3 people that are kind of the outsiders. They didn't start the game in the beginning, so they're coming into the game. So they have to stay together and protect each other. That's pretty much the first thing that Rob says to the other 2 is like, hey, we have to stick together coming in from this position. So there's that game. And then you have the game of like, okay, all the Survivor people are generally going to want to stick together. So there's that game. Big Brother people are all going to pretty much want to stick together. That game as well. And then also finding a traitor, but also want to keep your group together. So I love that there's a lot more games within a game within a game. which makes it less about necessarily finding a traitor right away, but more about keeping your numbers. And that's kind of what I was considering to play the game if I were to play as, well, I'd probably either a faithful or a traitor, is like,
You just
get,
want
let's
that
get to the
number.
end.
Yeah,
Let's just get to the
100%.
end.
Like you can't win anything if you're not there. You know, if you're voted out or you're murdered, like you're gone. So it really is at the end of the day, and this is one of the things that like it didn't work out, but like it's one of the things that I wanted to do in my season and what my plan was to come in and create relationships. All of these seasons, when it comes to being voted out or like your other contestants or who decides who goes home, relationships is what the game is. It's about making friends and being useful. Like you need to be useful to people so that they'll keep you around, right? So it's definitely a different dynamic. I think it's also really funny. Like when I saw Derek come in, because I've listened to their podcast for like several seasons of Big Brother. And I know that, and I listened to it when they did the Traitors when Cody was on it. So like I know that Derek has picked Cody's brain apart about this show, but I also know that Derek is a massive Danielle Reyes fan. So it's really funny to kind of see him come in and he's got like little twinkle stars in his eyes for Danielle. He wants to be her who was her like Jason. He wants to be her Jason, right? And you can see that right off the bat. He comes to her and he gives her all kinds of information day one. Right. So I think that's gonna be fun to watch. I think she's like dangling him. She's gonna play him really well, I think.
I love the recognition of them being the Mount Rushmores of their seasons.
Yeah.
Like I think Wes was the one that called that out with Derek being one of the best to have played the game. Not my favorite game, but I can't deny that he is a great Big Brother player. Very smart. And we know that Boston Rob is on the Mount Rushmore. On one of his seasons, there literally was a rock sculpture of his face on an island because he was giving advice and stuff like that on the season. So he is definitely on the Mount Rushmore. So I do love this twist. I remember I was like, oh, there's more women than men. So I don't know if there's more men than women now, but it's evened it out a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And you know what's so fun? Like, how did we not think about that? Like anyway.
Kathy says, notice that Danielle went straight to a young guy and Dylan as an ally. So she definitely likes to have the control potentially over somebody that will look up to her.
I don't know how I'm feeling. I loved the conclave. Carolyn does not like Danielle. Like you could feel that immediately. And I think that Danielle, she doesn't have any time for Carolyn either, but I feel like it came more from a like defensive place. Like I feel like Carolyn was like, this is how to play the game. And like she's very chaotic. And I think that those energies are just not gonna mesh well. And we're already doing it. But I don't know. Danielle, she's one of my favorite players, but she's starting to do a little bit much where I'm getting a bit nervous. Like I don't know that she's playing the game that I know she's capable of playing.
I think with Danielle, she wants to win so badly that she's not being necessarily flexible.
Yeah.
I think she's thinking a lot, but she's not necessarily thinking about how she's coming off. Yeah. And like, regardless of whether you're right or wrong with the strategy with Carolyn, she's a traitor with you, but she could also throw you under the bus. You still want her as an ally to you. And so
the very first night, if nobody suspects you, you know, I don't think you need to argue that hard night one when you're in a very good position about who does go home, because there's still a lot of game to be played. And none of the options that were there were like close allies of Danielle. Like, I don't think any of the options that they discussed would have hurt her game. So I think it definitely would have been a better idea to not put her back up with Carolyn and not, you know, try to teach Carolyn, because they had the right strategy to think more steps ahead. But Carolyn also had a good strategy of like not who was it they sent home? I'm bad with the names.
Dorinda.
So I don't think that was a good move. And I think Carolyn was right with that. But at the same time, like Carolyn was the one who caved and said, I don't care, let's just do whatever, in her own like fine kind of way. But Danielle, I think, should have been the one to cave in this particular situation and let Carolyn have her own way. You know?
I think Danielle just at this point does not respect Carolyn's like opinion and her ways that she looks at the game, and she only really right now trusts her own.
Yeah.
And so I think she doesn't want to go home on somebody else's decision. I think is
I think she's afraid of Carolyn a bit in a way that like she's so chaotic, she doesn't know what to expect. And if you can't control something, like, and she's in the most controllable position, but you still can't control the other traitors. So it's still, you know, the paranoia still sits in. It's still hard to navigate because you're not just playing like chess in this game. You're trying to play chess with 2 poker games going on online and then doing a checkers game with a toddler next to you as well. Like it's more than just one game. There's so much going on. And I think
I mean, I do agree with Danielle though, because she was saying that you want to think 20 steps ahead. I think that is absolutely appropriate. And I do think though that Carolyn did have a good perspective. I thought that keeping Dorinda in the game would have been helpful for them because she is somebody that has suspicion on them. You could still play up the Ivar and her still could have this feud, but he thought it might be, if he's a traitor, maybe it was too early for him to take it out. It'd be too obvious. So like maybe like they could do some 3D, 4D chess like strategy, you know, thoughts with that. And that maybe, yes, taking out a housewife, I think was probably the best idea for them. But I think that she should have just allowed Carolyn to explain it a little bit more. She was like, well, you haven't really convinced me like otherwise. And it's like, well, how she convinces you is a little bit different. And you're kind of being a little bit aggressive here. You're not allowing her to have the floor, actually.
Yeah, they both seemed very, like Carolyn as well, like they both seemed very short with each other. And like it felt like a very frustrating conclave right from the get-go. It felt like both.
I think Danielle just didn't want to play with Carolyn.
Yeah, there's definitely something there. Something is off for sure. Yeah.
Rachel here thinks that Dorinda would have been a good shield if she would have stayed. Yeah, I think she would have been a good shield as well. Someone that you could have used later as a kill. You know what I mean? Like allow that to come back a little bit later. I was actually surprised that they went with that because I did think that maybe they would have pivoted, maybe taken out a Robin a little bit less vocal, less heat, make it look a little bit like what it could have been, maybe Dolores, or you know what I mean? Or yeah. Anyways, I just thought that I didn't think that they were going to do it. Most people are agreeing that Dorinda was a silly choice. I don't know if it was silly. Like, I understand it because if we look at the end of the episode, it seemed to have been doing what they wanted it to do.
Yeah.
But I would have been curious to see how the other outcome would have been.
I think so too. Yeah, I think there are better options. And then the other thing that makes me nervous right now with Danielle's game, because like I'm a huge fan. I think she's doing too much. If I see her cry again, I'm gonna cry. I feel like the tears at this
She's doing better than Dan did.
Yes. 100%. She's doing better than I did. Let's be real, right? Like call a spade. But the tears are happening often.
Do you know what though?
I'm nervous.
I'm wondering. Okay, this is the 2 things that I wonder is going to happen. We're trying to jump into the end of the episode, but
I know. Sorry.
So with the fact that Rob is a traitor, Rob has been around there observing everything that's been going on, not knowing who the other traitors are. I wonder if Rob will give her a little rude awakening, being like, you're doing too much.
Yeah.
You're doing too much. You know what I mean? And she could either take it and be like, okay, let me improve my game. Or she could be offended and want to get him out because she wanted him out of the game. When he comes to that conclave, she is pissed that he's there because she wanted to get him out. And so it's going to be a bit of a battle between Danielle and Rob, it seems. And I wonder if it will divide because Rob, I think, and Carolyn might be wanting to work together a little bit more, and maybe it'll be Bob and Danielle a little bit more sided together. And I wonder if there's going to be a little bit of friction in the turret.
I think we can almost guarantee it. I'm very excited for this, like this season. I definitely think so. I agree, Rachel.
They definitely have laid it out. I just like that there's more games in there, right? Like it's not just about getting out a traitor.
Not at all.
That's more fun to me.
Yeah.
Because like I was thinking about if I were to ever play, about how like just being the first one out like sucks. Like, so like the fact that there's just these more games and more strategies, and like it's not only about getting out the traitors, it just makes it a little bit more, not easier, but there's a little bit more room for faithfuls to play a bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. There's different layers to it. Like, it's good.
Yeah, Danielle is overacting for sure. Danielle says, like, in what world would Danielle cry over someone that she just met go home in the game? That's just not Danielle. It's a huge red flag. And everything she says at breakfast, I'm just like, no.
So,
okay, we're getting there.
That is exactly how I felt. It was the same thing. I was kind of like watching it, and I was going, stop it. Like, I'm your fan. I need you to be better than this. You know, like, it was because, and it's not even just that, you know, I mean, it's been a long time, aside from reindeer games, it's been a long time since people have seen what she can really do in these games. So like the people that are in that castle don't necessarily know that she's not one to cry over people she just met. But at the same time, like, her personality doesn't come across as somebody who's going to just cry over something.
Just in her defense here a little bit, she was upset with Brittany, and so people did know that she was really upset with Brittany, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna cry, I don't want to cry. And so she did start before she was a traitor, I think. Yes, when she was coming to the manor, she was being a little bit emotional. She did cry in front of the manor when she saw Brittany, and so her being a little bit soft does play into what she's presented so far this season. So
true.
We'll just give that a little bit. I would like to hear maybe a confessional from Brittany and or Derek, just to hear if they're thinking of her as a traitor or acting weird or soft or what.
I mean, maybe she's just cries more now. Like, as a crier, I get it. Like, I absolutely get it, but it just doesn't feel authentic when you're watching it from our angle. So, I mean, maybe she's just a crier now. Maybe those weren't crocodile tears. Maybe she really was like emotional about it.
Kathy says our personalities change as we get older. I get emotional as heck, a lot more post menopause than I ever did when I was in my 30s or 40s. Interesting.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, she's in her 50s now. So yeah, she's a grandma, and she's saying that she wants to do it for her family. So she really, really wants this.
There's a lot of stress and pressure on that.
But she wants it too badly. She needs to want it less, in my opinion.
100%.
I love the breakfast though. Gabby coming in, she's like, yes, I love breakfast. I love talking shit. Like, I'm like, yes, talk shit, Gabby.
Gabby is becoming such a favorite of mine. Like, her faces that she makes, her one-liners. Like, this girl, like, I could just watch her. She's so good.
She was also on Dancing with the Stars. Maybe she was on the season with, I can't remember who's, like, they're all the last like 3
Somebody
or 4 seasons.
Put it in the chat last time, and I forgot to pay attention.
In the chat, they just said the Chrishell and Ariana were not on the same season, which I looked up. Chrishell was on 29 and Ariana was on 32. And what season was Gabby on? It might have been, maybe she was on the season with Chrishell. Gabby, Dancing with the Stars.
What else? She said something else too that I don't know. You probably haven't. I should have taken notes. But she said something else that just had me cackling. She's just so good. And the housewife of Dubai, I keep forgetting her name too. She's another one of my favorites.
Oh, well, her name is Chanel Ayan. I'm not sure. Ayan. So yeah, Gabby was on 31. So the season before Chrishell.
Right.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. So more people safe people are coming in. That's not actually exciting for me, is when like the people are all safe. And so that they could have just been there. I didn't need to see them enter. Like, you know, they're all going to be safe.
I think the big thing about like the breakfast entries is gauging the reaction of the other people who are there at breakfast to see who's surprised, who's overacting, who's underacting, that kind of thing, who's happy to see who's disappointed. And I think like that is the dynamic why they still do it. But I've noticed as the seasons progress, they're sending more and more people in together, because I think the same thing. It's like, we don't need to see every single reaction. So they're sending more clumps in together.
Well, but what I'm saying is, though, because all those people, the first 12 people were safe, so I just didn't need to see them come into breakfast, because I'm not gauging their reaction, or are they faking, or what do they, like.
Yeah.
They
We
know
know
they're
you're
safe.
safe. Sit in, sit down, have an egg, have a boiled egg.
A boiled egg.
I think it was Aeon who was like, who eats boiled eggs? It was so good.
You don't eat a hard boiled egg?
I eat hard boiled eggs.
Oh, yeah.
But it was I keep saying Chantele. Aeon, the Dubai housewife. I'm so bad with names. This is why I got kicked out of my season. It wasn't because they knew I was a traitor. They were like, this bitch can't get anything right. I can't remember her name, but she said it at breakfast. She was handing over the boiled eggs, and she was like, who eats boiled eggs?
Oh,
like,
I didn't hear her say that.
Yeah, but that's what I was referring to.
You were saying it. I was like, hard
No, I
boiled
love
egg is pretty common.
No, hard-boiled egg, bit of salt, bit of pepper. I love it.
Carolyn is having a hard time. She doesn't know how to be a faithful. I also don't think that she's doing a good job either. I think because she's kooky already, that she's able to just kind of rest on this being like whatever.
Yeah.
But when I look at her face, she looks like a traitor that doesn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, I think that she is very much hiding in plain sight, and I think that her personality is the perfect cover. Like, it was a great role. It's almost like if you cast the most crazy out there. It's like if Cedric was a traitor in Canada season 2. You know what I'm saying? It's like so obvious that it can't be real.
Yeah.
That's kind of like her role. And I feel like because it's like that, they're not even considering her, which makes me think she's not playing a bad game so far. And I do think she's got a good strategy. I think she's made good plans. I think it's her personality that's keeping her safe, but also making her obvious. But I think the moves that she's making have been good moves.
But she's having a hard time. And so I feel like I can notice that she's having a hard time. I do think that she will able to hide behind her personality, like Dreadful here, for a while. Absolutely. But I do think that she might get in over her head a bit if people start coming for her. Like if Danielle gets fed up with Carolyn and comes for her and makes her and kind of like bullies her, like I could see Danielle doing that.
I don't know Caroline well. Again, like this is my first introduction to her.
She's just not good though at confrontation. Even in the turret where she's safe, she wasn't able to really defend herself. So I'm saying, like, if Danielle at a round table decides that she's done with Carolyn and comes for her, I can see Carolyn not necessarily being able to.
But do you know what's so funny about that is that I thought that she was not necessarily good with confrontation, but I felt she was very confrontational. Like that was the vibe I got from her.
I don't know if it's me or you, but you're breaking up for me.
It guaranteed my internet. Hang on. Am I still gone? Hang on. I'm going to log back in.
Well, you were kind of like breaking up, so I couldn't really hear what you said.
Oh, can you hear me again now? No, I'm frozen.
Oh, okay. You're it's not matching.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Is it me?
No, it's me. I'll be right back. I'm going to log out and log back in.
Okay.
Oh, wait, no. It says
I'm going in and out. She's saying I'm going in and out.
Okay, yeah, because I just assumed it was me because I'm still at my office. But I've got you good. We're back, I think.
Okay, I couldn't hear what she said, but go ahead. Say it again.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that like with Carolyn, I was getting the vibe that she was actually confrontational. So I don't know necessarily that she can handle it well, but I felt like even from episode 1, she wasn't afraid to confront people and say kind of like what's on her mind, especially in the turret. I felt like she was the one who was a little bit more confrontational with Danielle. I thought Danielle didn't like her ideas. And like,
well, when Danielle was like, well, you haven't given me a reason. Like, what are you saying? Like, what's your reason? And she's like, well, if you let me speak, whatever. Like, but she didn't ever actually give a reason.
I think that was more editing though. Like, I got the vibe from that that was heavily
the reason.
Yeah.
And I don't think that she will be able to handle Danielle coming full force for her in front of everybody at a round table. I just do not think that Carolyn will be able to handle it. I think that she would buckle, in my opinion. Like, I just can't, like, and I think that Danielle might do that, to be honest. Like, I feel like she might
get pissed
flex
off.
her dominance over That's just what it feels like. It feels like she wants to put Carolyn in her place. It feels like she wants to show her that she's better than her. That's just the vibe that I'm getting, that, and I think it will happen this season.
I think that she's getting on Danielle's very last nerve for sure. And I could definitely see that happening. And I hope it does. I do. I love this.
I feel bad for Carolyn for that too.
I think it'd
so Tony thinks that Dorinda might be a traitor. And so when he said that, I was like, yeah, that's why you shouldn't kill Dorinda, because
100%.
people think that she's a traitor. And you still, even if you don't kill her, you still have Ivar being a suspected traitor, even if she's still in the game. It just means that, oh, maybe he didn't kill her now because it was going to be too obvious. So all the same people are in the breakfast at this point. I do like the Nikki, Gabby, Chriselle threesome, the girlies.
Yeah, for fun.
I like that they're working together.
Yeah.
Tom thinks that he would kill a housewife if it were him. So he's just throwing out some theories over there. What do you think about Tom and being a faithful?
I think he looks like he would kill a housewife, like in real life. Definitely. Like he's giving psychotic vibes. I mean, this is not because I found out about his background. I felt it from the first episode and I had no idea who he was, but he's giving real life serial killer. And even when people are talking to him, he always looks so aggravated. Like he just looks like he's aggravated all the time. So I don't know. I think he's going to get banished probably sooner than later. I don't really know what else I think about him. I think he's fun to watch because I don't think he seems to be getting very much social capital either. Like people don't seem to like him. And
no, they kind of think of him as a joke, it seems.
He's not, right? He is the eye.
Says it's in his eyes. I don't know if they drug test him, but it seems like he's high as F.
I was thinking the same thing, but I was like, I wonder, did they check his suitcase before they brought? No.
There's no way that he would be bringing drugs to Scotland. Like, I just can't imagine that.
He might not bring them there, but I mean, if you know the right person.
In Scotland?
I don't know. He seems really rich, isn't
he? No. He's on the Traitors, and like he did Special Forces and he did Masked Singer. Like he is.
Yeah, but that's for the clout. He's probably just narcissistic.
No, he doesn't have any money.
But no, okay. I don't know. Again, I don't know the family or who any of them are, so I'm just assuming he was really rich.
I mean, he's rich as in he got paid $600,000 an episode or a season of Vanderpump. But that Vanderpump stopped, so he doesn't have a job anymore. He doesn't make any money from his band. He pays, he took from his mom for $275,000 to open up his bar, which just closed down at the end of the year. He wasn't able to pay out Ariana for his portion of the house. Like, he's got no money.
Chantele, the universe does not like this man. Like, tell me that the universe hates you. That's a lot. You know what I mean? Like, you got bad karma. Not you.
He's a bad person.
Yeah, like it's very, like, it comes across. It really comes across.
He's not, he's just really not a good guy in my opinion. And like, I remember before the scandal came out, I was talking to a couple people that like, oh no, he's just a lovable idiot. No. And I'm like, no, I think he's dangerous. I don't think he's a good guy. I don't think he's a good guy. And like, I got so many apologies when like, oh my God, I'm so sorry that when the scandal came out, I'm like, I didn't see it. I'm like, I did. I never trusted him. Never liked him.
It's a gut check. It's like, you can't explain it, but yeah, there's something completely off. No.
Dreadful thinks that he's well off. He doesn't have the money like the housewives or Chriselle, Chriselle's loaded. She definitely, I think she makes the most out of all the Selling Sunset realtors.
Isn't she married to the broker now?
No.
I watched like up to season 2 or 3.
No, they're on season 8, and no. Right now she was dating Jason Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
But that was 2 seasons ago.
Okay.
She's now dating G Flipped, a non-binary person, a non-binary DJ from Australia. And they're engaged, I believe. They might have even gotten married. I can't remember.
Okay.
But
But I mean, she's selling multi-million-dollar houses. Like she's making money.
she may be getting leads from Jason because she's still his favorite. So she
Right.
might be getting those $20 million listings and able to sell them.
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, she's
That's wild.
definitely making the most out of all of them.
Good for her.
But yeah, I mean, maybe he has. I don't think he has like $1 million in the bank. Maybe a couple hundred thousand, but he's would be on the poorer side, in my opinion, of the people that are on this show. Like we know Tony's won 2 million.
Yeah.
We know Boston Rob, he's won 1 million. His wife has won 1 million, and they've won, runner-up prize. Like they've won a lot of money, so they're in the couple $1 million club probably still.
He doesn't have find drugs in Scotland money.
I just don't know if he's that guy to be able to do that. Like, I don't know.
I know. I honestly think it's probably
Especially
just his,
since he's doing this to probably try to gain back popular public opinion.
Yeah, he's not coming across though. And I mean, that could be production too, but yeah, he's not coming across very well.
Yes, he owes his retired mother $275,000 that she borrowed from her to open up the bar that just closed down in January or end of December.
This guy.
She's married to a singer. No, a DJ, G Flip.
You have so much knowledge.
Not even as much as everybody, but I watched all the shows, right?
Okay.
Okay, so Tom. Wait, what did I say? Sacrifice. Bob, Chanel, and Danielle, I guess, are the next in. Of the sacrifice people. Chanel was so worried about being murdered, and she's a great character to have. I was thinking before the season, like, ooh, maybe she would be a traitor. That could be kind of interesting, but now, like, there's no way she would have been able to handle it, in my opinion.
No.
I'm very happy she's faithful. She's a good faithful.
She's a really fun character. Like I love watching her. I want to hear what she's going to say. And I think she's having a good time.
And her outfits are just so fabulous.
Yeah, she's looking great.
Bob enters the breakfast with Sam, and he's been practicing his shocked faces. I love his shocked faces. Bob is also one that seems to be doing a little bit too much as well, but depending on what Rob says to them, that everybody when he gets to the turret, maybe people will start toning things down a little bit once they have some outsider's perspective as to how they're playing the game.
I'm a little bit worried about Bob based on his name being out there already. So like with like Dylan and how he like went to Robin. Like I feel like Dylan has a good gut check. Like he went to Robin and he's almost like I don't know because he's friends with Danielle now, but like he did see, although she did that because Dylan saw Robin and was kind of like, like it seems suspicious, but and then he just kind of flipped it to Bob. It's like he saw between the smoke or like behind the smoke or something. So the three of them seem to be really watching. I keep saying Rob, I mean Bob. Maybe I'm wrong, but they seem to be watching Bob. And I feel like even if Bob changes, that might not necessarily be great because that might be evidence that he is a drag queen. Because why are you acting different now?
I think that they're bringing up Bob like later on in the episode because yes, he is somebody that could be suspect, absolutely. But I don't know if it's going to get any traction, especially with Dylan being friends with Danielle. I think Danielle wants to play the game of Bob, and so I think that there will be a deflection there. And I think that right now, maybe it's somebody that he's mentioning, but I just feel like it's going to fizzle away.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna get any traction. So Bob though is like, who's missing? And it's the housewives, Robin and Dolores, come into the room because now we learn that Dorinda is dead. Danielle needs to stop pointing out all these theories.
She's killing me. I'm so like, that was my exact thought. Like, and I mean, later again, is it at the round table or at breakfast?
She says at the round table as well. But she throws out the housewives saying like, they could murder another housewife to get off the scent. And it's like, let somebody else come up with that theory, babe. Like Tom did come up with it before.
And so for me, I'm not judging her because I think that's like so stupid and whatever. I'm judging her because I did it. I know it's such a big mistake. Like on my season, we murdered someone and we had our reason in the conclave. And then I went out the next day and was like, do you think this is the reason? And everybody's like, oh, she's a traitor. So I'm nervous watching Danielle do the exact same thing because I'm like, okay, I've learned from that mistake. I need you to be better than that, like she should not be throwing out the reasons that murdered people go home if they're the actual reasons.
Yeah, I'm thinking now, just jumping way ahead again to the end of the episode. With her being in the tour with Boston Rob, she, I think, really liked being top dog in there. I think that she felt as though what she says goes, that Bob the drag queen was going to side with her, and you know what I mean? And so I think now that Boston Rob is there, she won't necessarily be able to get her specific agenda across. And so now she's going to have a little bit more work to do, which I think will end up being better for her game if she just allows herself to work with the traitors, not be the top dog traitor.
I'm worried. I don't know what she's going to do. I'm having a really hard time. Like that episode, it was a good episode, but I don't know how I feel. It made me nervous for her. I'm scared.
So Bob's crying at the fact that Dorinda is gone.
So is Danielle.
And then so is Danielle. And he's just like patting his eyes. She's like, and Carolyn's just like, ugh, she hates them.
She really is. So Carolyn wears her feelings on her face. Like she wears a lot on her face. She's very expressive. But yeah, she hates them a lot. But I'm with her on they're doing too much side of things. Like, fully agree.
So Robin at this point says that she doesn't, I think this is after breakfast. Was it after breakfast? No, it couldn't have been yet. Oh, she doesn't think that Bob the drag queen is a traitor. She says this, and she's suspecting Wells. Now, Robin is one of the people that you brought up that Dylan was speaking to about Bob the drag queen. So I'm wondering if Robin was just being agreeable in the moment and maybe will share that information with Bob the drag queen. That's possible that she you know what I mean? Like we didn't see what happened after that conversation. Right. So I'm wondering if maybe he'll get tipped by Robin being like, yeah, Dylan thinks that you might be a traitor because of blah, 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 blah.
That's a good point too. That is
yeah, he needs to get tipped off at some point.
Yeah. Like absolutely.
They both do. They need to both chill the F out.
Yeah, they gotta just like pull back. Just slow it
Carolyn,
down.
I know she's weird and kooky, but she needs to also speak up a little bit more.
Yeah, she does seem pretty like fairly quiet for the most part.
Yeah, just like doesn't say a word.
But that's not the worst
though tells Dylan about her theory. Obviously, I was obsessed when he's like, "Yeah, we're both Aquariuses. I trust them." I'm like, "I know Danielle is an Aquarius." And do you know who else is an Aquarius?
Who?
Derek.
Okay. Do Aquariuses work well together?
We with each other, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so is it sounding for you like, I don't know if it's me or you, like it sounds kind of robotic?
It sounds normal here, like listening to this. I don't know about what we're putting out. I know I was really choppy earlier.
It was you think it was you? I don't know. Right now, it just sounds like.
Do I sound robotic?
Not you, actually. When we are hearing it when you both talk, I do hear a sound. It just hears like on my end when you talk.
Do we think it could be the connection? I'm gonna plug in my good mic again. Goodbye. Nice lighting. Let me see. I don't, it could be me though, but like, I don't see any signs that it's me, but, oh, it's gone. Has this changed anything? It's very clear. Okay. Yeah. So it was my microphone. I was using my computer, instead of my actual like microphone because my ring light won't plug into the wall right now. So anyway, you'll just have not great lighting. It just had started a few moments ago. So yes, that's great. So you look great, Mel. Don't worry. You're welcome, everybody. Imagine if I just like take my phone and just like put the flash. I'm not that mean. Do it if you want. I don't even know if that would work. Would it work?
So yes, Aquarius, it's an air sign. It would, they do get along with other Aquariuses. All my best friends are Aquarius. We just get our vibes. There's been only like one or two Aquariuses in my lifetime that I've not got along with or loved. And so I would say, yes, it's a good thing that it seems like all the Aquariuses are gravitating towards each other. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all their signs. I did some tarot predictions, some that the cards, if I read them properly, I would have hit all the traitors with like what came up. But like I said, like maybe faithful, but if I read the cards now knowing that they are a traitor, I can understand why I pulled some cards. So if you want to check that out, it's on my Reality Realnesss Twitter or TikTok. But I think I might also do a video looking at all the people that are working together and just see if astrologically, if there's any sort of connection.
I love that.
This would lead me to believe, because both Carolyn and Boston Rob, they're both Capricorns. So they're going to probably gravitate towards each other. Bob the drag queen, I believe, is a Cancer, which would mean that he would lean towards Capricorn. That's their opposite. So they might want to work together. And Cancer and Aquarius is just not great. It's not a great vibe. Cancer and Capricorn, not the best. It's air and earth. Everything can work, but like not always the best, you know? So that's I want to take a look and see.
I think if I ever do like, or get an opportunity to do another show, I am going to research the shit out of these signs because I don't know anything about them. But I'm so interested in it. So I'm gonna like deep dive into that and then meet everybody there and be like, okay, what's your sign? And like
that's 1,000,000% what I would be doing. But like, I wouldn't want to do it like say it to
it had to be like on the fly. Like it would be in a notebook.
Exactly. Yeah. I wouldn't want to know everybody's sign because it would actually help me just to be able to know potentially how they would maybe operate, who they would gravitate towards, things that they like, their dislikes, just how to communicate with people a little bit better. So yeah, I would definitely research everybody's sign.
See, we need to go on something. We need to be like partners. Like Amazing Race Canada, are you still casting? Can we like get a call?
Like what the F?
Like, please?
I've been hoping that like, because like, I don't have my regular phone, I'm just like, I missed their phone call, but
had to miss it.
The last time I moved forward, they emailed me. So
yeah,
pretty quick, like 2 days after. So I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, I mean, I don't know. Whatever
will be. Que sera, right?
Que sera, sera.
What happened?
Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, so Robin thinks that it was smart what the traitors did. With the fact that now it looks like it was one of the housewives and that, you know, it's framing somebody. She thought this was a good idea. And Wells thinks that it's a red flag that Robin thinks that this was a good idea. I actually don't understand Wells's perspective because to think that
I understand it.
Okay,
I do. I'm with him. Like as soon as he said it, I was like, yes. So I think with Wells, it's not that he doesn't understand how she could think it was a good idea. It was that she seemed to get a little bit defensive when he said it was a bad idea. So like he took that as like, you're offended by me thinking it was a bad idea because it was your idea. So that was why he thought she was
okay. Because I was just like, she thinks it's a good idea. I'm like, I think it's it's a decent enough idea to like pin it on people, have people look like it was, you know, like one of the housewives and be like, like she should have been like, it sucks because now I'm incriminated by here. But I think it was good for the traitors to like put people that are innocent against each other and blah, 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 blah. So if you're saying though, it's because that she looked defensive.
Yeah. Okay, fine. He said like her
I think it's a decent idea. Pardon?
Yeah. He said her and Sam got like this like weird face. Like when he mentioned it, her and Sam seemed to be like offended by the fact that he thought it was because he was like, that's a bad idea. And both of them got offended. And I think that's why he thought that they were traitors because that was their idea and he insulted them.
I mean, so Dreadful here saying they were with Wells, same with Carolyn. Dorinda was a weird choice, but I didn't find her overly defensive. He made her defensiveness out to be more than it was, in my opinion. She just disagreed. Yeah, I didn't really find her being defensive personally, but if that's the reason, then okay, fine. But I just personally was like,
do you know what?
I would be
Fine,
pretty
Wells
emphatic. Maybe it would come off as defensive and be like, I thought it was a good idea. Like,
I felt the same as him. Like there's something about Robin. I'm like ready for her to go. Like there was something about her in that episode. Same thing when I was so upset when it came down to both of them and he left because I was very much with him. And I thought the same thing. I thought she seemed like very defensive about it, like upset with him that he thought it was a bad idea and stuff. So like, do we think he's a Virgo? Like, is that why
he's a Taurus, so he's an earth sign. So you would like him more than I would. For sure.
How funny is that? Oh my God. I'm going to end up going right down that like deep dive. But yeah,
wait,
I do.
What's your husband?
Oh my God. My husband's an Aries and my daughter.
Oh,
so
wow.
My house is always chaos. Yeah. They're like, and they are Aries.
Yeah. And they probably, do they get along really well? And like, they kind of, you're a little bit on the outside of those two, their bond. Obviously you're gonna have the mother-daughter bond, whatever. But
yeah, I think that trumps it. The mother-daughter bond trumps it. It is funny because they both have like the exact same temper, if you will. Like they've got that Aries snap. Like,
yeah, the Aries are definitely
frustrated.
So I do think that Dorinda was a good shield for the Traitors because she was chaotic. Well, that's why she would have been maybe better for her to stay in the game.
Yeah,
But so Hunter doesn't think that Robin was defensive. She's just confident in her opinion. I'm trying to see what Robin's sign is. I feel like she might be. I feel like I know what she is because a lot of people on the Housewives, I think they're all Virgos, but I could be wrong. Hold on, Robin.
Do Virgos get along? Would I not get along with a Virgo?
No, you'd get along with Virgos if you guys have your same particulars, I guess. Like, because like most Virgos I know are very OCD about things, everything in their place, very punctual, all that stuff. And so, but like if you're not that, maybe.
And like I'm a Virgo with ADD, so I'm like. I have the ADD is the exact opposite of what a Virgo is, but I do have a lot of Virgo personality traits. Like I want to be organized. Like I thrive on routine and organization. I just can't do it. It's very difficult.
I know. Remember, we're trying to find your birth time, so we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know what your whole chart is yet.
I had like a thing when I was a baby of it showed, or when I was a baby, like years ago, I had this thing of like that showed my birth time and stuff, but I don't. Like 17 moves later, that's gone somewhere. I have no idea.
Oh no!
I mean, it's probably in mom's basement somewhere. But
Dreadful says I thought she came off defensive because she disagreed. Yeah, I guess I didn't find it, but maybe guys I know her personality, and so
no. And Dreadful Ruby saying Wells.
Oh, I thought he came off because she disagreed. Yeah. He definitely. It just seemed a little bit strange to me that he couldn't see why it was a good idea.
I think what's so funny? There is like this bias for sure because I'm watching it and I'm like, there's just something about Robin that I didn't like. So I was like, yeah, no, like I'm with you, Wells. Like I was just ready for her to go because I just didn't enjoy I don't know. I was like, I just don't know if I could get along with her. It's just funny though how like that creates a bias because now I'm like,
Robin, guess what sign she is?
What is she?
Guess.
A Virgo?
No.
I have no idea. I don't know what any of that.
Aries.
I only know.
She's an Aries.
I was gonna say I only know Virgo and Aries. How funny is that?
So, like, wouldn't that be a little bit of Aries kind of attitude?
Fire. It's the
fire. Like, and Wells in his earthiness being like, oh, she's being a little bit too like, strong-minded, strong-willed. So, just find it interesting. How dynamics play out?
So cool.
Not saying anything. Jennifer,
this could be a whole other channel.
Say again?
This could be a whole other channel. Just like taking astrology and then playing it out on reality characters.
Well, we do that. So I do that on Nerdtainment with Sarah and sometimes Kendra. Did you watch Kendra's season of Survivor?
Come on.
45? 45. It was 45. It was recent.
Chantele, come on. I just started. I don't
know if I've even gone back. So you haven't gone back. You've seen 2 seasons?
I saw 47 and then I went back and watched the one where Adam wins. That was That was really good. It was
Millennials versus Gen
millennials.
X. Okay.
Yeah, I saw those two. And I had another one with that basketball player. He was really, really easy to hate in the episode. I think he just had a heart surgery or something recently. Oh, what was his name? He played twice.
That I don't remember.
I don't remember, but
yeah. And their closest family members are Capricorn, Stars, Aquarius. My mom's a Cancer, and I'm an Aquarius, and we don't always get along. Just saying. My sister's birthdays are today, and my son's is tomorrow. Oh my God, so many Capricorns went into labor on their birthday. Wow. Dreadful's looking for their baby book to find her birth time. My mom can't remember now. My mom has always known my birth time, which thank goodness. I can't imagine not knowing my birth time. Just can't.
I think Scarlett doesn't know her birth afternoon. I can't remember exactly what her time was, but it was like early afternoon. But, yeah.
So
anyway,
Alan brings them to the mission to the three cages covered in a cloak. And he has the dramatic reveal. We see Derek from Big Brother. And Brittany just doesn't need any more people playing the game.
So good. I'm with you, Brittany. Like, same.
I mean, I do think, though, it will be easier for Brittany to have more gamers in the game. Like, it's just, she will last, I would think, longer unless, well, we know that Danielle's in the game, but unless Danielle does not take her out because case or whatever on their tail. But I think it's better for her to have more gamers in the game. Brittany.
I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but I think it does depend on who. Like, do her and Derek get along at all? I don't know if I can see them being friends. I could see her gravitating toward Boston Rob, but I also don't know him very well. So.
Well, and that could be with signs and stuff like that. Because Brittany, I think Brittany might be a Virgo, to be honest. You might have another Virgo. Virgo is the most popular sign.
Really?
Most people are born Virgo, just because there's obviously it's longer a long duration, and like if you top 10 month or like signs that people are born in is I think 9 out of 10 of them are Virgo.
Right.
Which is wild. Brittany Haynes. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say about like the people in the game. Like, I don't think it's the worst thing for her to have more gamers. I think it just depends on who. And like, I don't know. We didn't see a whole lot from her this episode, but I would hope that she would talk a lot of game and strategy with people, but I just don't see her and Derek getting together. I think he loves Danielle. He's a super fan of Danielle's. I don't think he's going to be like super open to pulling in.
But I think that he's going to want to keep Big Brother strong.
I don't know. Cody and Rachel didn't even like look at each other. This is the funny thing that
I'm thinking though, because of where he's coming in the game, like if he started the game, maybe that's different. But I would 100% being like, one of those three people have to be a traitor. Let's get them out. So he's going to have to insulate himself. The numbers that he has most easily are going to be the three of them, people. And then Big Brother people, and then the Survivor people. So,
but he also gravitates, and we've seen it, he gravitates toward the bros, and he's really easy at getting along with people and making friends. And I think he's going to stick with the clique that he came in with. He's now gravitating. Who did he give the thing to? Dylan, right? Yeah. So like, that was him. Why did I think that was Danielle?
Oh, maybe Danielle didn't give it to Dylan.
He did give it to a bro. But either way, like, I think that
Derek gave it to Jeremy or Dylan.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. I can see him. It would not surprise me if he didn't work with Brittany. And it's something that I just don't think
he's going to give away his numbers in the game.
I don't know though, because it's something about Big Brother.
Why would he do that? Why would it make any sense?
I'm not saying it would be a good idea. I'm just saying
he's a very strategic person. He knows that the reason why he won his season is that he had people in the game that weren't going to vote him out. He, in my opinion, would really pull in every number that he possibly could have in order for them to be on his side. Why would he let Brittany want to take him out?
But is she his number from the get-go? Like, that's where my brain is. Like, I don't know that him and Brittany, like, I think he's a super fan of, like,
they were on Big Brother together that he's going to work with Brittany.
I don't know.
It just would make zero sense for him not to pull in a potential number.
I agree. Listen, I also thought that Kara was gonna go like first traitor in last season that we watched.
True.
You know what I mean? Like it's these theories that I just get in my brain. I'm like, I just don't know. Like I would like to see them all stick together as Big Brother players, but there's something about traitors when they get together. It's like the only like series that doesn't seem to stick together on the traitors. Like Survivor, you can see them all talking, saying like, okay, we're from the same show, let's stick together. But for whatever reason, Big Brother players seem to have more like friction.
I think because of where he's coming into the game, he's going to do his best to get all the numbers that he could possibly have to protect him. If he had started the game in the normal fashion, maybe he wouldn't gravitate towards Brittany as one of his numbers. But I think that because he's coming in a position where they are going to be targeting those three people, he is going to take whatever number he can get because he needs them to be able to protect him in the game. So,
do you think that they are going to target the Big Brother people though? Because the people
no,
who
I
are
think
on
they're
the
going to target the
show.
people in the cage.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the three people who were going to be targeted were the three Big Brother people.
No, the people in the
That's why
cage.
I'm like, I don't understand.
The people in the cage. One of those three people in the cage are going to be. They're going to say one of them has to be a traitor.
I don't know. I don't think that they're going to think
you
that.
think that they're going to think that?
You and I would think that.
I think
I
every
don't think
single
this cast is
person
going to think
that's
it.
played a social strategy game will think that one of those three people coming into the game will be a traitor.
Well, we also have a lot of like housewives and like Vanderpump Rules, and you know what I mean, like selling
three people coming into the game and none of them going to be a traitor. There's absolutely no way. I mean, I would never think that.
I don't know.
Even if I was wrong, I would still think it.
Yeah, I would too. I'm just saying I don't. I maybe I'm not giving them enough credit. I just don't see them all thinking it. Like all gang, like everybody in there getting together and saying, let's get them out. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think the traitors work that well together.
So this would be like my defense. Say I was one of the people that sat down on the dock, right? Even if I was a traitor, I'd be like, we should be looking at the people that just came into the game just to completely deflect as that being a smaller group of people to be looking at. I think that that's what Danielle is going to do to try to get Boston Rob out of the game, is saying like, we should look at the people that came into into the game. Like, I think that the traitors are probably going to use that to their defense potentially, but you always want to look at the smaller groups of people, right? Where you can just take them out. And I think that the people that were on the dock, like, they're not going to go through all the housewives, I think, and then just leave Danielle and Bob the Drag Queen. I think they're going to shift their focus to another group of people, and that in this case being, I think the three people that came in.
So I think more that they're just going to go random. I think that that's the strategy, but I don't think I've never seen any traitors
in the banishment.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I've never seen any traitors where the majority of the cast all bands together enough to actually do that to a group. It seems to be like an idea, but then they always
But you don't need to band together enough. You just need like 5 people, right?
Yeah, but that's a lot for this.
No, but that's why I'm saying that, like, so that's why with Derek, I think is going to use Brittany as a number, because you need to have like 5 or 6 to be a majority if the rest of the votes are split.
Right.
So I just think that people are going to start gaining numbers so that they can get their agenda across, whether or not it doesn't matter what the group decides, it's what the majority decides. And so I think that it would be easy to gain enough people to maybe split the vote on all the 3 people that are like in the cages. Maybe that's what happens, and then whoever has the highest will go out. But I think that narrowing it down to those 3 people in those cages would be strategy for anybody that is not that's from a competitive reality show, that's not a traitor. I think that that's something that they would put up.
I think that's the way to go, but I just don't see it happening. Because don't.
People that have already been started in the game, they don't want outsiders to come in and take their spot. They're like, that's an easy way for them to all band together.
But I just think that they're so chaotic and the game is filled with so much paranoia that they just like, they change their mind like that when it comes to who's the traitor, and like they get lost in the game. And there's so many different theories floating around. I just don't think they're going to stay with
if
it.
it's say Tony, like Tony going home or somebody that's in the cage, do you think that Tony's going to allow himself to be the one that goes home? He's like, no, let's keep the people that were here from the beginning to stay here. They can't come into my house and like kick me out of my house.
I think the other side of that is that everybody's going to be like, well, like you sound like a traitor who you were original traitor and now you don't want to get caught. Like I just don't.
I think that they will end up targeting the people in the cages first, because that would be optimum strategy for anybody. I think that maybe it'll be Danielle that leads that charge or trickles that idea out. Maybe won't bit the next episode, but I do think that the people in the cages will be in the hot seat, because it would be the easiest to go through 3 people and get them out and potentially find a traitor.
Yeah. Like I fully agree with that. I just think you're giving them too much credit. I just don't think they're going to get, there's not going to be enough people, in my opinion, to get on that same page to do it. I
definitely disagree for the fact that there's so many groups of people that have decent amount of numbers. Yeah. I think that Danielle right now, so she has Derek, herself, Dylan, and probably Bob the drag queen, play nice with Brittany, and that would be 5 people right there that would be able to get an agenda of some sort across. Like she could just be like, well, like it's going to be one of the 3 of you. I don't think it's you, Derek. Who do you want to take out of this game? Do you want it to be Wes, or do you want it to be Boston Rob? And Derek is going to want it to not be him, so maybe he's going to choose one of those 2 people. Like it just.
Don't you think too that like I just don't know, because I feel like even if I came in as one of 3, I would want to steer away from that, because you're one of 3.
Of course, but if it's you or them, like you're going to choose.
Yeah, but it's going to be you after them. Once they go
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
So like, I think I would try to steer.
But then how would you get the numbers to stop that? But with your theory, right?
Well, my theory is just that they're not going to be able to all get on the same page to be that organized and strategic to send home the most recent 3.
I think that that would be the easiest thing for them to convince, because they were not in the game.
The next episode.
They're not they haven't been in the game from the beginning, so they can easily say, "Hey, let's just play the game with the people that we started this game with. We don't know. These are wild cards. They're coming in. We don't want more players." Like Brittany already said, I don't want more faithfuls in the game. I don't want more players in the game. I want everybody out. So I could see Brittany being somebody that was easily like, okay, let's just take them out, and just start the game back with the people that were here for the beginning. I don't think that people that keep on going home, if they have 1 or 2 more faithfuls that get banished at a round table, I just don't see them being like, and it's not one of the new people that came in. I just don't see them being okay with going home when there's people that weren't here from the beginning coming in the game. It usually happens in a lot of games where, people that didn't start there from the beginning, they never just was like, okay, let's just get them out.
They're like in and out. Yeah. But I think the thing that's stopping me from like seeing it is just that the Traitors is so different on so many levels, including like the paranoia when you're in the game. Like people don't see the same as they do in other competition games. As much as it is like, okay, you just came in, let's just boot you right back out. I think that because there's like this lack of trust with everybody, I just don't see them doing it. I don't know. I think it's smart, but yeah, I don't see them doing it.
I just, even if, so dreadful, here's the things that would be silly to bring 3 people and making one of a traitor. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I would still be like, the odds are is that why are they bringing in these 3 biggest gamers in their show and making none of them a traitor? Why would they bring Boston Rob and they want someone to shake his hand and not make him a traitor? Like it just, I would just roll the dice.
I agree. It's what they should do. I just don't have faith that they're going to do it. I do not have the faith in.
I mean,
Traitors cast
more smart than, from what I've seen so far, than other faithfuls have been in past.
They are. This has been it's a good cast, but I don't know. I would like to see that, but I just don't have the faith.
Dreadful says 2, maybe not 3. 1's a traitor. So
I just don't think they're going to do it.
I just can't see them allowing Wes, Derek, and Rob skate to the end and not have any suspicion on them possibly being a
There's
traitor.
probably going to be suspicion. I just don't think they're all going to band together with the same mentality.
So who are they going to band together for?
No, just, I mean, in general, I mean, like, I just don't see like everybody or certain groups coming together and saying the 3 that just came in, let's target them and get them back out. I just don't have faith that they're going to get together and be able to make that happen.
We'll see.
I do think they're going to target them, and like some are going to get suspicion, but there's so many other things that happen that raise suspicion that they fire in all different directions, because it's also more than just one traitor. So even if 3 that they brought in, one's a traitor, they're still not going to focus on that because there's so much going on. There's so many.
I think if somebody is getting some deflection on them, say even if Bob drag queen, if people start looking at him and he hears something like, oh, like I can see someone trying to save themselves, putting up a nice little argument as like, let's get out some of these other people, because you know, even if they're a faithful or a traitor, I can see one person using it as a potential strategy.
Oh yeah, I know it's going to be brought up. I just don't think that they're going to be successful in like hammering all 3. You know what I mean? It's going to be interesting to see it play out, though. Either way.
Sure. Okay. So
I do have to get going.
I mean, I just can't imagine all these good players not using that as an opportunity to save themselves for one more night.
I think it's just the fact that it's the Traitors, because like the best players in Traitors, sometimes like that game is just has so many different levels and layers to it. And I think the paranoia is what clouds a lot of people in what should be the most obvious decision. And it like twists with their brain, you know?
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
No, I'm really excited for it. Either way, I've been wrong very many times before. So like,
so obviously Boston Rob wants to work with Jeremy. He wants to keep, you know, Jeremy wants Survivor to stay together. So Rob says twice this episode, revenge is a dish best served cold. And because each one of these players that are in the cages, they do have a shield to give out. And so they have to run around, they have to find coins to put in each of their little slots. It's going to help lower them into the game. So I didn't hear the instructions. Did they all have to be lowered for them all to be in the game? And if they didn't all get lowered into the game, then the shield is gone?
I couldn't really, I was wondering the same thing, honestly, because I was watching and they were like, oh, it's who you pick. And they were all like, let's get Boston Rob. So it felt like whoever landed, they got to keep. But if that's the case, then, you know, like, and they are thinking that strategy, then why would they get all 3 of them down at all? But is it because to get the money in the pot? Like it wasn't really clear to me when I was watching it.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't clear, and I wound it for a second. I'm like, oh, I don't have time, and so I just was like,
that's kind of how I was. I was like, I'm not really sure, but I knew we had to get to this. But speaking of time, and I hate to do this, I've got 1 minute before I have to leave.
No problem.
So I've got to go.
We'll see you guys. We'll do episode 3 recap at around 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. And we could probably come back to like, we could probably finish like episode 2 recap.
Do you want to finish this episode? Should we stop here, guys, and finish the episode and then?
No, I mean, I can finish it later. Look, because I got to show a house now. I have to leave now.
No, I'm asking the chat if they want me to finish this episode recap.
Oh, right.
Or if we want to stop here with you and then. What do you guys think? Tell us quick.
Yeah, I got you.
You can go, Mel, and like I'll decide whether or not I finish it or.
No, listen, you can absolutely finish. I was thinking that if I was leaving, I didn't realize that. So yeah, no, that's absolutely cool. And then we can jump on for episode 3 in a little while.
All right. Well, enjoy showing your house. Oh, they say we can finish later. Okay. Okay, we'll finish later. Thank you guys for joining in our discussion on like who's right about this. I'm like, I just can't imagine.
We put some money on this.
People would be just so down. Anyways, okay. So everybody will definitely come back. Mel, pop out. I'll close out and I'll tell everybody what's going on.
All right. Bye, guys. See you soon. Bye. Thanks.
So yes, thanks, Kathy, for this. So yeah, we can pick back up in a couple hours when Mel is able to come back. Obviously it's a little bit challenging with these first 3 episode drops. I'm not in the city or the country, and so it's a little bit challenging. I'm so sweaty. I'm so shiny. you know, making it work with these 3 episode jobs, but it should be a little bit more easier to coordinate when there's only 1 episode to contend with. So we'll finish the second half of this episode. And then obviously we're going to watch episode 3 and recap that. So we'll finish episode 2 at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then we'll go into episode 3. Of course, this is like my favorite thing to do. I wouldn't want to be spoiled for the first 3 episodes of The Traitors, so I'm more than happy to chat with you guys about the show and the episode. So we can talk a little bit as to what do you guys think so far. Like, so let's maybe go on. Do you think that they're smart enough to be able to use the fact that 3 people coming into the game, that one of them could be a traitor, and maybe we should just target those 3 people first? Would that be a good strategy? That's what I've been saying, but Mel doesn't think that they will be able to come together to have that streamlined thought. What do you guys think before we go? And yes, please ring the bell so you know that we're when we go live next. But if you guys don't want to talk anymore about this episode, I guess we'll see you in a couple hours, 3 hours. Kathy doesn't know if any of them are smart enough to make it happen. I would just think self-preservation mode. And if like people that were in the game from the beginning start going out, I think that they'll be like, well, why do these guys get to come in and get a free pass? Like, they don't have to be there the first day. They weren't there for the traitor selection. Like, I would think that it wasn't fair. Personally, I would be like, one of them has to be a traitor, or let's get them out anyways. Whatever. I would want less people, and I would try to find a way to get, you know, numbers out of game. I mean, obviously that's my thoughts. Like 15 minutes trying to explain it. Lena is surprised that no one has given thought to that. Kathy says, I think if addition happened later in the game, it would be different. It's day 2. I just think that it's also would be weird that 3 people came into the game and not one of them was a traitor. They don't know if 2 or 3 traitors were picked, or 1. Like, they have no idea how many traitors were originally in the game. They saw in season 2 that 2 traitors were picked and then 1 was recruited into the game. So even if that's the case, like maybe they were recruited into the game, or one of them had the opportunity to be recruited into the game. Maybe the traitors only were choosing between the 3 of them for the 3rd pick. Like, who knows? We see Kate Chastain come back into the game and then quickly gets recruited. I would just kind of think that I would just be looking at them sus. BB says, I wonder if they'll take cues from other Survivor BB vets to turn on them first. I don't know. Yeah, they're still definitely figuring it out. I just feel like what might save the people in the cage is that there's 3 guys, so I think that they might bro it down and the bros might all be able to stick together. And they're also staying competitive reality show strong. So I don't know if the other people will be able to do it. So it would only be if a competitive reality person decides to turn on them, which I could see it being Danielle. Anyways, we'll soon find out. Dreadful said so many reasons to just go for the 3. Exactly. Who cares if they aren't in the end? And they are still Rob, Wes, and Derek. Exactly. Dreadful says same. Derek had that thought. Too bad he's not the one that can really lead that charge. Yeah, not yet. I don't even recognize what you said, Dreadful, so I'm not even going to go back and I don't know. Okay, so we will see you back in 3 hours to finish up this episode and then watch or recap episode 3. Thanks, everybody. This has been super fun. I'm really loving this season. I'm loving that it's bringing out so much conversation and strategy and talks about like how convoluted it is. So loving the episode. I will see everybody in a few hours. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Oh, sorry for my finger. It's so annoying that it comes by this thing. Can I find my banner? Where's my banners? Like this video. Here's my banner. And yeah, leave us a comment as to what do you think. Do you think that the faithfuls here, or the original players, are going to figure it out and decide to target the 3 people in the cage? Do you think that's too smart of a strategy for these people playing? What are your thoughts there? Oh, I may not be here for the 3rd episode. My husband will be home and we'll be watching episode 2. Well, we might still be on live episode 2. Well, hopefully you can make it. Join us on the recap or the replay. Of course, Kathy, thank you so much. Thank you. I mean, I love it. And thanks for being here to make it worthwhile. We'll see you in a couple hours. Ciao, everybody. Bye.